Hi everyone, I wanted to make a video on the different running tips that I have gotten from other runners and from websites and just things in general that I've learned over my running career, which is when I started back in 6th grade. So I just wanted to tell beginning runners some things, or even if you're an advanced runner, you never know because you could learn something. Don't ever wear cotton socks. Cotton socks give you the worst fucking blisters in the world. You don't even understand. Wear socks that have very good breathability in them and are designed. How do I have two messages? Are designed specifically for running. Second is sign up for the race before you start training. If you start training and you're halfway in between your training and then you sign up for it, why is my mom blasting that song? Sign up for the race before, so that way you know you have to train as hard as you can and as well as you can, so that when race day finally comes, you know that you did your entire best that you could have done for that race that you are performing in. Don't compare yourself to other runners. That is something that I always did. I was always like, oh, she's so much faster than me, he's so much, better. Another thing too is if you're a girl runner, and usually girls are a bit slower than guys are. That's just how women are built, because we are biologically designed to have more fat to bear children. So by having that, women are usually a lot slower. So don't ever compare yourself to other guys. Don't compare yourself to other runners. Be like, oh, she's so much faster than me. Instead of comparing yourself, make it more of okay, she's faster than me, then I should work on my speed work. Running is not an excuse to eat everything. Believe me, alright? I was doing I was doing 1 mile runs maybe 5 times a week last month, and I was like, oh, now that I'm running, I can eat food, whatever. And then I started gaining weight, and I was like, why am I getting weight? I'm running. And then I was like, you know what, I'm only doing 1 mile. If I was doing 10 miles, then that'd be a different story. But if you're just doing 1 to 3 miles, then that's not, that doesn't give you an excuse to eat that donut or, whatever. You still have to keep your body healthy, so that you can perform your best when you run. Make it a habit to drink water all day. You have to stay hydrated, so that you will, not get dehydrated when you run and things like that, because that's always bad. Because that happened to me one time. I didn't drink water for a really long time, and I went out to the track and I ran I ran a lap, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm dizzy, and I passed out. And stupid me, I kept running. Don't ever do that. That's bad. Always log in your mileage of how many miles you do whenever you do it, because it will help your legs and your shoes. Shoes, running shoes, they usually tend to wear out about every 350 to 500 miles you put on them. So then after that, you'd have to replace your shoes, because if you don't have the best shoes in the best condition, then you can really injure you. Ice, 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 ice. Cannot stress that enough. Ice is so good for you when it reduces inflammation in your joints and things like that. So just put some ice on take an ice bath, actually. I did that one time and it hurt so bad, but after it was done, I felt so much better. The next day, I wasn't I was sore, but I wasn't as sore as I usually was after a run. Don't run 2 hard runs back to back. Let's say that you run, this is just an example, I don't know. Let's say you run 3 miles in 20 minutes, today. And then tomorrow, you're like, okay, I gotta beat my time. Don't try to do that. Take a day off, because if you try to do that, then you will just, fucking absolutely kill yourself. If you're recovering from an injury, follow the doctor's orders. Okay, this is something that I did. When I broke my leg, I was beyond pissed and angry and depressed and sad. I was like, you know what, I'm so, like, I didn't even know it was broken until like 2 months after it had happened. And then I was like, and by the time then, it didn't like hurt as bad, but it still hurt. Doctor was like, don't run on it, don't do anything on it, and I did, and it still hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much, but it still does. But you have to absolutely follow the doctor's orders, because then you'll just hurt yourself even more, and then you'll like never be able to run. So what would you rather have, 6 months off of running or never running again? Yeah. Race day is not the day to try new foods, new clothes, new shoes, new anything. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to start taking multivitamins the day of my race. No, okay? Don't try anything new the day before or the day of your race, because that can mess up your system. Do not choose a marathon as your first race. If you're just getting into running and you're like, oh, I really love running, I'm going to sign up for a marathon. Don't do that. Okay, that's what I tried to do. I ran 3 5Ks when I was in middle school, and then I was like, I got into 9th grade, and I was like, you know what, I want to do a half marathon. Blech. Sorry, no, you can't do that. Maybe like an 8K, and then work up to like a 10K, and then a half marathon, but don't go straight from like 3 miles to 13 miles. That your body cannot get used to that. Always run on the side of the road that's facing traffic. You don't want to be running behind, because I remember one time I was actually playing a game with myself. I was running in the opposite direction of traffic. I was going where, like, I was running and the traffic was coming behind me, and I was running in with my iPod, so I couldn't tell when a car was coming up behind me. I was playing a game that every time a car would come up behind me and like I saw it drive past me, I would sprint really fast. But don't do that, because that's dangerous, and because I slipped and fell, and I cut my knee really bad, and I had to get like a tetanus shot. Double knot your shoelaces. There's absolutely no shame in walking. If you have to take a break from, you know, your 5-mile run of the day, don't worry about it. There's no shame in walking. Just do like a quick little minute or 90 seconds or something like that, and then just pick your pace back up, and you should be good. Most people, once they start running again, they experience soreness. I know I did when I started running back in the beginning of August. I was, you know, sore, tired a little bit, and then my body started getting used to the 1 mile, and I did like a 1.5 miles, and I was so sore the next day. But if you don't experience soreness until like 2, 3, 4 days afterwards, don't worry, that's perfectly normal. It's something called like delay onset muscle soreness, obviously. So if that comes up, don't worry about it. You're completely normal. Do speed work after you have an endurance base, because if you are not, your heart isn't conditioned to handle those kinds of degrees that you're running at, then it's never going to be able to, that's just common sense. You don't do that. You don't just go and sprint because your heart's not used to it, and it would just like have a heart attack. So don't do that. Lift weights, because that can increase your muscle density or whatever, and then that way, you know, your muscles can handle a lot more strain throughout the day, I guess. And one thing that I learned, I used to run about 8 miles every other day. One summer, not like this summer 2011, but summer 2010, I did, and I ran with 2 water bottles, and they worked as weights. And so your arms will tone up as well as your lower half of your body. So that was a really long video. I'm sorry. But I hope that those tips helped you in some kind of way. If they didn't, then I'm sorry for being so redundant. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.